Sus.
Oh, buddy.
So what you guys don't know, and I've actually decreased my sense a little bit. I dropped my 41 on 1010, but right now I am on 8.8. And of course the lower sense players 6.6, 7.7 is around what most pros play on, and that's mainly because centering. So centering, if you don't know what centering is, it's aiming to where you think the enemy is going to be at. So I'm using my awareness, you know, I know that there's nobody over there because I just ran over there, so I'm running in this direction and my crosshair is like locked right here. Why? Because as soon as I pull up to the spot, I am looking right here and this spot is covered from this wall right here. So as I'm centering and doing, like, I don't know, movement and stuff, I'm not just gonna look up right here, or I'm not just gonna like do movement and pop out right here. No, what I'm gonna do is I'm staring at that spot the entire time. So I'm looking right here, and then as soon as this thing passes, my crosshair is right there where the enemy is gonna be. Even when I slide cancel, it is right there. So when an enemy pops out right there, all I have to do is aim, and my aim is gonna snap onto that guy easily. So right there, same thing. Boom. Let's say someone's over there, right? You go here, and then you look over here. So I go here, no one's there, and then I can look over here. And being that this is gonna be a longer time to look at, that's when I would do a move where I would drop shot, and then jump, or I look over there, then I can jump backwards and then aim right there. You always gotta make sure that you're centering up your shots and that you're not just, you know, just looking around like crazy, and then when a guy comes, you just can't kill him because you're not centered onto his body. So if you want amazing aim, if you want to just be fundamentally good at the game and have very consistent games, then you can go over and keep centering to places where you think that people are going to be at. And this is all map knowledge too. If you don't know certain places of Rebirth, certain places of S&D, then play those games over and over and over and over until you know every single common spot that an enemy's going to be in. So boom, center there. I'm going to center right here, center over here. It's just all placing your crosshair where you think the enemy's going to be and making sure that you're not messing that up. And you always want to aim with your hipfire crosshair. You don't want to, like, you know, ADS and then try to, oh, I'm going to center right here and then look over there. Your ADS is actually very bad for aiming, even though like it kind of makes it easier to aim long range for like your aim assist and stuff. Hip firing is always going to be better. There's times where if there's an enemy right there, I'm going to go like this and then aim in. I'm going to go like this and then aim in, because it's going to make the aim assist stronger and lock onto the guy than if I go like this and then look right there. That's actually a lot worse for your aim. So always make sure that you're centering around here. And that's just going to make everything a lot easier for you to look at and hit your shots. And now I'm going to show you a lot of clips where I have really good aim, and you're just going to see the way I center and predict where the enemy is going to be at. Alright, so right here I think I did an amazing job centering, and most people would just overlook this, but if you look real close right here, so the first thing I do, I hear somebody shooting in that direction, so I'm lining up my crosshair, my hipfire crosshair, where I think he's going to be, being that there's shots coming from that direction. And as soon as I see him, then that's when I start to ADS, and as soon as I fire, it's a direct shot, whether it's to his chest or his head. It's in the place where I want it to be at the most. And even though I have an SMG or Armaguera, I'm still able to center perfectly onto his body and hit a lot of shots right there. And then quickly back away because I realized that there's more than one person. Reload, and then obviously, like, I wanted to get away from the situation. I didn't want to re-challenge them, so that's why I went up here instead of recentering right there. But even as I'm looking up here, right, I am watching that area, because if he comes and tries to look at me, then my crosshair would already be centered into that position. So there you go. Then I'm moving over here. I hear somebody coming over here, so I immediately look over there and wait for him with my crosshair Like, I didn't ADS until I looked in the direction, and the rails actually have a lot worse aim assist, so it's hard to shoot around the rails. But I looked over here first, and then I aimed down sights, and that's when he popped up, and I was able to get in a little railing head glitch and take him down. And then look, I know he's there, so I'm gonna send over here, and then I didn't see him for some reason, so I'm thinking he's in the locker. So then I centered into the locker. Didn't ADS until I was actually inside the locker, and then ADS. And this was like a situation where I was actually in a really tough situation where you can't really center onto a guy really properly, being that there's more than one, and if you focus your attention on one guy, then you're gonna get shot by the other. This one, I threw the stun over there, use my movement to run around, and it's like I wasn't really centering in this situation, because centering is really made for lining up your shot and being able to predict and take out your enemy one-on-one compared to fighting multiple people at once. So when you're fighting multiple enemies and you need to run away, then you shouldn't try to focus on centering. You should try to focus on escaping the situation and protecting your body as much as possible. So no centering because I just ran out. And then right here, I think I get killed by like a precision or something. But that was a really good situation where I was able to take out all those people in order because I centered properly, and that gave me perfect accuracy to hitting my shots. This right here is a good example of me using movement while centering at the same time. That is really hard to do, but if you have your centering down pinpoint, then your movement should not be too far off of that, and you should be able to use good movement while hitting your shots. So in this situation, I feel like they're over here. I aim around this direction. I don't really know too far like where they're in, and then I'm able to get the hip fire into the shot, and then I go swing around here. Again, my hip fire is placed in this direction. I'm not looking left or right. I'm looking exactly where I think he's gonna be. I go back in, go back out, and again, my hip fire is exactly where I want it to be.
Oh, you could have stemmed like right around my face.
And then right here, I even hear somebody over here, or I just see him on the map, and instead of centering my crosshair on the ground or on the person on the ground, I am centering it where I think the enemy is going to be at.
There's a guy on like the prison.
I was able to get 2 shots off and then move away because I didn't want to get hit by his close range weapon, and then I'm using movement to take him
Like
out.
You're wiping.
So that was an example of me using it in like a fast-paced situation where I'm just running around and stuff, and the other one was more of an organized situation. Alright guys, so now that you know what centering is and how centering can be applied to a lot of good situations, now you're going to know how to practice centering and how to make it perfect to the point where you can center perfectly every single time and take out your enemies. And the best way, in my opinion, to do that is to use an M4A1 or just any assault rifle, but specifically this gun is really good for it, and not only SMGs, and just go around the map and try to center onto areas where you think the enemies are going to be at. And the reason I say an M4 compared to other weapons is that if you have an SMG, it's kind of hard to center, especially far away, because your aim is like, it's like more fast-paced and the ADS is faster, being that it is a submachine gun. But if you have an M4A1, it's easier and it's a heavier weapon for you to just like center across a lot of areas. So I'm centering to the middle right here, center over here, center over here, center over there, and just do it where there's no bots or anything. Just keep centering over and over and over like that, and then just do that like a bunch of times so you feel comfortable, and then you can start doing it against bots. And once you do it against bots and you feel comfortable, then you start doing it more in a game, and just focus that crosshair and focus just getting it onto the enemy and the next position where you think that an enemy is going to be at. I do want to end the video with the main way I try to study pro players or just see a lot of really good mechanics in this game, and that was searching up the CDL for Modern Warfare 2019. And mainly the mechanic of centering in this gameplay, I would look and see, oh my gosh, you know, these players right here, they're
Simps all the way in the back.
They're moving around, right? And just looking at where their crosshair placement is at. This man's looking exactly right here. And then sniper, get out of here, sniper. But like, look, this is M4 main, right? Let's just look at this one real quick. He's looking over there, looking at that wall 2 times, that door 2 times, because he thinks someone's gonna be there. Then immediately looks to this area because he thinks someone's gonna be there. Then he immediately looks back to like the way that they change directions and to just predict where the enemy is gonna be is ridiculous. And seeing really good players who play all the time non-stop and they get paid to do this stuff really makes you better at the game, because you really see the very specific details that these people are doing. So that is the video on centering, and this is by far the #1 way to get better at the game.